Greetings, friends. This last week, we had an opportunity to look at the role of doubt in the midst of our chaos and those times of life when our faith is so important, but it doesn't make sense. One of the passages that I didn't have time to deal with is found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11. And in Matthew 11, it's a passage about doubt and unbelief. And I believe that doubt is a part of our faith. It's just a natural process in which we choose faith. But unbelief is an unwillingness to choose faith. It is, no amount of proof would make us change our mind. It's a stubborn rebellion. And that passage is so clear in Matthew 11. The first part of Matthew 11, Jesus is with his disciples, and John the Baptist sends some of his own disciples to Jesus. And John has one question: are you really the Messiah, or should we be looking for someone else? John had a clear picture of what the Messiah would do and who he would be, and yet at the same time, John's in prison waiting to die. And so he had some questions, he had some doubts. And Jesus responds to John with so much grace, even telling us that there's no one born of woman greater than John. Jesus doesn't condemn John for his doubts, and he really gives some pictures of who he really is. But when you read just a little bit farther down, there are a handful of cities that are also questioning, not believing, unwilling to believe. And Jesus doesn't give them grace, he condemns them, he judges them. And I think we need to pay attention to that, because there is a difference between doubt and unbelief. Doubt is, I want to believe, help my unbelief. I want to, I just can't. It's a step of faith, whereas unbelief is refusal to have faith. And when we confuse those two, I think sometimes we fill ourselves with shame, feeling as if we're being unfaithful because we have doubts. Jesus is telling us just the opposite. To be faithful is to have doubts at times. To be unfaithful is to doubt nothing, to believe nothing, and to trust nothing. And so I just share that with you for a point of conversation, that maybe we can lean into our doubts a little bit more as we experience God's grace. Have a great week.